What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Smiley-D. Got my boy Verne with me. This is one of my long-standing homies in Christ. You know, we met probably 2014?
Yeah, 2014.
And so, yeah, we've been just vibing ever since. You know, we played on basketball leagues together. You know, and just chop it up. It's one of my good friends here. Actually, one of my best friends. You know, he was one of my groomsmen in my wedding. And so today, what we bring into you is just we're just doing conversations just about different topics, and we just kind of want to get this going. And so, if you ever have any ideas, be sure to leave them in the comment section below. So if you have any ideas of what you want us to address, definitely leave comments below, and we'll see if we can address them. Today what we're talking about is sports, how the sports has helped our journey in life, and how it's helped us through being young men in high school and to where we're at now. And so that's what we're talking about today. So yeah, tell us like just kind of what was kind of like your sports journey, you know, did you grow up in it? What was that like for you?
Yeah. My sports journey started off at a really young age. You know, playing Pee-wees, and eventually from Pee-wees going to AAU, select basketball, and then, you know, getting in the high school sports realm, and then, you know, with aspirations to go to the NBA or play college ball and all that kind of stuff. But it was very prominent, you know, with me growing up. And as I was thinking about us talking about this, I realized having a father figure in my life to push me and be with me growing up through sports was very important, you know, and
have him at your games and all of that. That was valuable.
At the games, acting a fool, saying whoop that trick.
Yeah.
Loud in the games.
Yeah.
You know, hustle and flow reference right there for some people.
Yeah.
You know? But yeah, it was very prominent, and impacted me in you know, more ways than others, for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
That is important, you know, just about, you know, having a father figure, you know, that's even another topic we can address. Just, you know, having a father figure around, you know, to support you through those things is very important, you know, especially, you know, if those things fall through, you know, you have someone to fall back on that kind of give you some direction, you know, and things like that, because every good father, you know, has some direction to give their kids, you know, and so that's very valuable. That's important. That was really good, man. Just to hear about, you know, how that's impacted you growing up. And another thing that, you know, I see in common is like me, you know, growing up for me is I didn't really have any sports programs. You know, I had a single mom, you know, Oklahoma City, East Side, and she had 5 kids, and so she didn't really know about all of the any programs out there to help kids. I mean, the only thing I really got into, I think I was in 4th grade, we got into Boy Scouts. You know, we had a black leader for Boy Scouts. They had me going around selling popcorn, door to door, stuff like that, you know, and he took us out one time to play basketball, you know, him and just all these black kids, you know, young black kids, you know, playing ball and stuff. And that was what I remember, like, kind of just like how I started playing basketball. But, you know, it wasn't no programs to actually teach me the skills or anything. And so a lot of stuff, like, I had to learn through video games, really, like, you know, I was like, you know, I watched a little bit of Michael Jordan or the Sonics on television and stuff, but really, like, video games, really.
NBA Live?
Nah, it was before, NBA Live 99.
What was that one?
NBA Live 99. We had that one. Kobe Bryant NBA Courtside. You know, that was in 1998 on N64.
What about the one that the ball like fired up?
Yeah, that's NBA Jams.
Oh, NBA Jam,
That's
okay,
one of them too.
Yeah.
And so, you know, a lot of like I'll see them do these moves, and I would just try to do them, and I'll practice them, and so that's kind of how it started. But yeah, like my mom's never really knew about those programs and stuff. I played baseball in 5th grade, and then I was just kind of traumatized because I got hit in the eye with the baseball, and I was like, I'm done with this sport, you know. so yeah, it's like I'm still traumatized, by the way. So even if I play softball, I'd be kind of skeptical. Just to be transparent with everybody out there, okay?
That's what I'm gonna
Smiley-D does not play baseball or softball, okay? Traumatized. And so that was kind of just what happened. And, you know, I remember like when I was like about 12, you know, I was practicing basketball skills, and I was also started rapping at the time. And I really had this dream of like, okay, I want to be a famous rapper or an NBA player. You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of like the correlation I see between us. Is just like you wanted to be in the NBA, I wanted to be in the NBA. A while ago, I did this song called Ghetto Boy Dreamin', and just talking about the ghetto boy dreams of like wanting to be a superstar rapper, superstar sports player, professional sports players. You know, those are the dreams we had. You know, college was for the minority, you know what I'm saying? And so like, you know, that was kind of just something that motivated me, you know, growing up, was just like this ghetto boy dream. Like, I want to be in the NBA, I want to be a star, you know, and stuff.
Oh yeah, same with me.
What do you feel like motivates that? Do you know? What you think?
You know, as kids, I think you look up to people, and you know, that's one thing, somebody to look up to and just really have as an idol or a role model. And so, you know, sports is you know, nationally televised, and so whatever's on TV, you know, you're usually watching sports, or whatever the talk of the town is, it's probably about a sports player. And so
Definitely.
it starts with that, and then, you know, the money. You know, when people want to make it big. You know, definitely in my situation, I wasn't super poor, but I wasn't wealthy by any means. And so coming from that environment, even in that, you know, not poor but not wealthy environment, you still want to make money, you know, to sometime down the road provide for your family. And so I bet that's even more so in your situation. And so I would say role models, you know, the money, and then, you know, the fame. You know, people want to be something in this world. You know, we need to feel valued. You know, we need to feel important. And I feel like sports kind of encapsulates, you know, all three of those things that I mentioned. And so, yeah, definitely.
That's really a key point, being important and feeling valued, you know, because I feel like a lot of the black community, you know, we've been treated as not important and not valued, you know, for so many years. And so, you know, when it comes to like these things of like being famous or being a professional sports star, we want to be rich, you know what I'm saying? We want to be like not looked down upon. We want to be people to celebrate us. You know, you look at how many different cultures, different, you know, races of people support LeBron James. You know what I'm saying? And so like, we want that. We like, hey, I want to be accepted. I want to feel important, you know, and all those things. And I think that's kind of one of the root things of motivating us to want to be like professional basketball players or whatnot. And aside from that, like the love of the game, you know, we love the game and everything. And
it's probably one of the most important things I left out.
We love the game. We do want to make it out of poverty too, but like the game of basketball is just so ingrained, even with like hip hop. You know, basketball and hip hop go hand in hand. Like when that AI came out, you know, it was just like I was all over Iverson. I was trying to grow my hair out at the time. I was trying to get the cornrows like them. I would wear the Iverson jersey. I had the Reebok Iversons on. Like, you know, that was my guy. You know, and even me being like 5'9", he was like 6 foot 6'1". You know what I'm saying? And he was like representing for the short people out there. You know, and so Iverson was a huge role model of mine, you know, back then. And so, but yeah, like I think for me, you know, personally, like, you know, I feel like sports has helped me, you know, kind of keep my mind off negative things, you know, but at the same time, you know, I feel like for me, I got into drugs and selling drugs and all those things back in high school. I was about 16 years old when I got into that lifestyle. And, you know, around that time, like, I really wanted to play basketball. You know, I really wanted to play basketball, but I was never given the tools to practice. You know, like, we didn't have access to YouTube to where you could, like, look up Coach Rocky, I Love Basketball TV, you know what I'm saying? He's teaching all types of drills, and I'm watching him now. I'm 30 years old, I'm watching him now. He's teaching me drills. I'm like, oh yeah, let me try this drill out and stuff, you know, when I go to the Y, you know. But like when I was 15, 16, you know, we didn't have access to the internet like that, you know what I'm saying, to where
Right.
cats was like really putting that out. And so like, and my moms didn't really know about the resources like that, you know, and so I wasn't really, I taught myself how to dribble, I taught myself how to shoot, and like all those things. Like didn't have like a coach, none of that, you know. And so
did you end up trying out for the high school team, or?
Yeah, I tried out for the high school team my junior year. You know, I went in, I thought I was filthy too. I thought I was filthy. And didn't make the team. That was just heartbreaking for me. Didn't make the team. And before you know it, that year, I remember that year, I ended up getting into drugs. My cousin, he was a part of the Crips, and he moved back. He moved up to Washington, you know, from Oklahoma City, and he started influencing me in a lot of ways, teaching me a lot about the game and stuff. And you know, I ended up going that route. You know, and plus I was rapping at the same time too, and that's what the rappers looked up. You know, that's what we looked up to the rappers, and the rappers were a lot of times glorifying the drugs, the violence, the women, you know, you know, all of those things, the hustle, you know, all of those things. And so I went that route. I was like, okay, I'll take my chances being a rapper, you know. And so that's kind of just how I got into it, and it really stuck to me. And so, you know.
Do you think, looking back in retrospect, that there opportunities for young people to play, you know, pee-wee sports or select basketball in your city, or was it something that you guys would have had to commute X amount of hours, you know, to get to a spot where they had, you know, all these prominent basketball leagues or select teams and all that? Because I know the AAU scene, you know, it's been around for a while. But
I think one of the things for us was, you know, I was a quiet kid, so I wasn't really vocal about it. But also, like, you know, growing up in Oklahoma City, East Side, there was a lack of programs. Like, there was no programs coming to my schools, none of that. There was no recruitment in schools, none of that. I don't even remember ever seeing a flyer about, oh, it comes to this basketball camp, you know, or anything like that, you know. And so that was one issue. And then we moved to Washington, you know, Bremerton, Washington, when I was 12. We didn't know anybody when we came up here. So, you know, my mom's, you know, she didn't know anything. I mean, we couldn't Google search. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, now you can Google search or even Facebook search, you know? Basketball camp in your local city, and something may pop up, you know. And so we didn't have access to all of that, you know. We were still using the phone book, you know. and so all of those things. And so, you know, I just felt like that opportunity wasn't really, you know, there for me as it is for like a lot of other people who grew up in that community and stuff. Because, you know, we moved out here in 2000. You know, we didn't really know anybody. You know, we just stayed kind of just our family, just stayed together. You know, we made a few friends here and there, but yeah, it was never. And at that time, like, you know, I was in 7th grade going into 8th grade. You know, kids that were on the basketball team, they already been playing for years, you know, and they already kind of had those tools and resources growing up, you know, even through elementary school. And so I've participated in a few basketball camps that served kids that were in elementary schools. And so, you know, I look back at that, like my elementary school, like, was all black people. I mean, we had one white family that was about a sister and 2 brothers. And they were really in poverty and all of that, and they were the minority in my school, you know, my elementary school. And they had a hard time, you know, especially with a lot of people picking on them and stuff like that. You know, they had a hard time, but, you know, they were down there with us, you know what I'm saying? And so we didn't have any programs coming there to recruit kids or even talk to us about sports. It was kind of just like assumed, you know, like that you would have these skills. And then once I got to middle school, that's when they had basketball teams and things like that and stuff. And
junior highs when we started.
So they had basketball teams then, and it's just like I didn't even know where kids got those skills from. So maybe it was from different hoods where they went and did things, but I don't ever remember anything coming to my head, you know.
Speaking of the importance of sports, you know, you mentioned like when you were 16, you got, you know, influenced into like the drug game. And you know, what my dad, you know, always drilled into my head, like growing up, he was like, you know, I'm putting you into sports because, you know, I don't want you out there gang banging and all that kind of stuff, you know, keeping me in school and stuff. And so that is the contrast, you know, for for a lot of kids. You know, I wouldn't say paint the whole picture for everybody, because everybody has a different story. But you know, in your case, in my case, I think it's pretty common. You know, it's either, you know, you're playing sports and you're staying out of that lane, or if you're out of it, you're kind of that's your choice right there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, for me, like, you know, I wasn't like a super bad kid growing up. I was still good, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was in the Pokemon and everything. Like, Britney Spears would come on the radio, I knew her song. Oops, I Did It Again. I knew her song and everything.
Don't get me started.
You know, but my mom's, you know, she's a believer, and she raised us in Christ, and she would whip my butt, man, if I got into stuff like that. Like my cousins, I have a cousin my age who's in prison now. Shout out to Snoop. But you know, we just kind of grew up in two different households. You know, like you know, my mom's, you know, she raised us in the faith and you know, in the church and stuff and everything. And you know, rest in peace, Aunt Cricket. You know, she passed away, you know, a few years ago, and you know, but Snoop was pretty much just out there. You know, she was out there. I mean, he was out there, and I don't think she was a bad mother by no means or whatnot, but you know, just their circumstances, and I don't know the full story of how she grew up or anything like that, but you know, we just kind of grew up in two different realms. You know, I was kind of the church boy, he was the street boy, you know what I'm saying? But we were like favorite cousins, you know, we would go out and do stuff, and so you know, I would never grew up like just really in the streets like that, you know what I'm saying? I chose to get in the streets, you know, even though I've been around it my whole life. I chose to get in when I was 16. Yeah, you know, and so like, you know, same thing with a lot of, you know, people that are in sports. Like, I know some kids that are, you know, very talented, had the basketball skills and everything, and chose the streets. And you know, kids are going to prison now, you know what I'm saying? And so like, you know, I feel like for me though, if I would have got a chance, you know, to make the basketball team, you know, I would have took that serious, you know, because that was like something that was really valuable to me, and it would have gave me structure, it would have gave me discipline. You know, you got the athletic code, you can't use drugs, you know, any of that, you know what I'm saying? Like, I wouldn't have probably started smoking weed. I would have probably been like, hey, I'm focusing on basketball. Right. You know, all those different things, thinking about college, you know, all those different things, you know what I'm saying? And, but, you know, I didn't make the team that year, so, you know, I was kind of like hurt behind that, and I was just like, okay, what do I do now? And so that's kind of just led me down the path I went down.
Right,
you know?
right.
Yeah, you guys, anybody that has opportunities to get in sports are good, sports programs are good for you guys. Keep it up. You know, if you're an adult, you know, sports has helped you through your life. Be sure to drop something in the comments, drop some knowledge, some wisdom in the comments for anybody else that's young, that's in sports. And we thank y'all for listening today. And so God bless you guys, and we'll be back with our next conversation soon, all right?
All right.
Peace.